Alright, here we go. My name's Jerry, and I am building my own house here in Lyons, Colorado, sort of up near Estes Park. And I've been debating making a video and just decided to go ahead and do it. So here we go. I have no plan for this video. I'm just going to sort of wing it. That's my foundation so far. It's been a little bit since we poured that, and I formed it all up myself with some help, of course, and poured that. It's an 8-inch solid poured wall all the way around. Footing, we start with the footings and build the walls up. So form that all up with wood forms, which is kind of like a old school way of doing it, but it's for a do-it-yourselfer that doesn't have $30,000 worth of steel forms. It's really a great way to do it. And a old school concrete guy showed me how to do that, and it's really quite versatile and totally doable for a do-it-yourselfer. It's probably not something that a lot of people would want to tackle on their own, but I learned how to do it, and I've done a few of them now. So this would be my third house that I've done by myself, and I get better every time. So this is obviously mountainous terrain, and we had, it was quite the endeavor carving this big foundation into this hillside. As you can see, it's all rock back there. We've got a walkout basement, but that's just half the house. The other, kind of the back half, is just going to be crawl space where all that rock and rubble is. So anyway, my goal here is to maybe make some more videos and show how to build a house yourself. With some help, of course. You can never do everything yourself. I built that shed myself, so if you want to, build something like that and live in it, you could totally do that. You're totally by yourself. But it's kind of funny. There's different versions of what people think of building a house yourself. There's the whole I GC'd it myself, which means you didn't really have boots on the ground, you just hired everything out. That's GCing it yourself. In my case, I'm boots on the ground, working every day, probably doing the majority of the work out of anybody that's going to set foot on this property, the majority of the physical work. That's what I call building a house yourself. Obviously, you hire some things out, and you do need help, labor-wise. But yeah, and it's hard. A lot of people don't do it anymore because it's just too difficult for most people, and it takes a lot of work and a lot of perseverance. But it can be done. And maybe I can show some people how to do it if I make some more videos. We'll see. So anyway, this is my property, and it's up in the mountains between Lyons and Estes Park in Colorado. And this is what it looks like basically when you have a property that's under construction and you're doing stuff yourself. You got all your trailers and materials and things you've collected, and I'm lucky enough to have this backhoe here, which was a huge lifesaver. I don't know how to would have done this particular property without that, because we moved a lot of dirt and dug a lot of rock out. And I got, stuff I've collected, boards and lumber. And I don't even have my lumber package yet, but that's coming soon. And then I'm going to start building here very shortly. So hopefully I can make some more videos about that. But yeah, if anybody's interested in learning how to really build your own house by yourself, being the landowner and the GC and the boots on the ground, you might want to follow along, because I might make some more videos and show you how things are done. This is basically, I'm giving myself about 1 year to try to get this done. This is going to be my day 2 basically of my 1 year. Right now is day 2. I'm going to start prepping the foundation for walls. I had to cut a couple more trees down yesterday that were too close to the foundation, and get my lumber ordered here and get it here. And that's was a kind of a fiasco all in itself, and maybe I can share some tricks about ordering lumber packages and stuff like that. But basically, yeah, here we go, you know. It's going to be a lot of work, and hopefully I can do it again. So here's where it starts. I've gotten about as far as I can go without having lumber with this foundation, and well, I've got to still prep the top of the walls, which is what I'm doing right now. I'm basically just taking this big old grinder here. It's like a 7-inch grinding wheel on there, and just kind of smoothing off the top of my wall here. Concrete's always tricky when you're pouring concrete, and you know, everything starts going real fast, and it's hard to get the top of the wall perfectly smooth. So I just got a little roughness there that I'm smoothing out. It doesn't take long. I'm kind of taking the level as I go, and if there's any high spots or something, I built my forms really level, and you know, but when you're pouring mud and you're trying to move along, you know, there's little boogers and kind of little high spots and stuff like that. So just trying to smooth it out and make it so when I put my sill plate down with the sill seal, it sits nice and level, and my sill seal is tight. And that's a big deal because, you know, now buildings are being built a lot more airtight, so you know, you don't really want much unevenness there. You know, every step of the way you got to make sure your building is airtight these days. They actually make you do a blower door test where they pressurize your house and measure how much air is leaking out of it. So you gotta be really careful about that these days. So just going along and doing that, and you know, I'm still waiting on my lumber, so trying to get everything done that I can. I don't have the slab poured yet, as you can see. It's a really nice day today, but it's still the end of February, so it gets cold at night, and we've got unpredictable weather. So, and when we poured this foundation, it was like late in November, so I just really wasn't prepared to go ahead with the slab yet. And also I need to put my under slab plumbing in, because this basement's going to have a future bathroom in it, and my utility room, which is going to have a floor drain. So I need to get underground plumbing in, and this is, man, it's rock just barely below the surface here, so that's going to be some jackhammering. So I still got to do that, and that might be something that happens after we get some walls framed up. We might be pouring this slab, you know, maybe after I get the main floor deck on, which is going to go kind of like from up there straight across. So we're going to frame up some basement walls out this walkout side, put a floor on it, and then go up from there with the main level. So yeah, still have a little bit to do there for the floor, and that's also going to have a radon system in it, which means it's going to have 4 inches of gravel, then a layer of 6 mil plastic, and it's going to have a couple pipes kind of embedded in that gravel, where the radon can come out, and we can pipe that out of the house and possibly eventually put a radon pump on that. So it's kind of a thing here in Colorado and a lot of places now where you have to mitigate your radon. So yeah, it's a little bit of trouble, a lot more difficult than just simply pouring a slab, but you got to do it. And then my foundation will, or I'm sorry, my crawl space will have, I've got to clean this up still. It's pretty rough, but I'm going to try to clean a lot of this rubble out of here, and that's eventually going to get plastic over it. Same thing, pipe in there somewhere underneath the plastic and plumbed into the radon pipe going out of the house. So yeah, I got my that green stuff is the perimeter insulation that's buried vertically all the way down to the footer, and that's required by energy code now to basically keep the coldness from the earth from coming in to your dirt basically, and then coming up through your slab. So you've got to insulate down into the ground quite a ways. And I put mine on the inside. You can also put it on the outside. If you put it on the outside, then you've got to cover it with something, some kind of finish, stucco or whatever. I put mine on the inside. It's a little bit trickier because now I'm going to have that sort of sticking up out of my slab. You could cut it down and put your slab on top of it. You're losing a little bit of insulation value there. Depends on what you can get away with. The inspectors now around here are pretty picky about what you can get away with, so I'd like to cut that insulation down and butt my slab right up to my 8-inch concrete, but I don't know if I can get away with it, so we'll see. Other than that, what else? These are counterforts. This is all an engineered foundation. So an engineer wanted me to put counterforts, which are these little 4-foot things sticking out. And that's just to hold back the hillside. They were a pain to build and form up, but makes it really strong, and that wall's not coming down. And I was able to backfill before building the house on top of it. Normally you could build a house on top of a foundation, and that's kind of like stiffens it up. But you'd have to wait to build your house before you could backfill. But in this case, I was able to backfill right away with these counterforts. Yeah, what else? Yeah, so just prepping for getting my lumber, building walls. I'm gonna put some treated plates down to build my walls on down here, and treated plates up here to rest my main floor joists on. And this middle strip down the middle of this footing is going to get a wall that goes straight down the middle, and it's going to support the middle of my floor joists all the way down. So yeah, just trying to show a couple more things about what I've got going on here. I'd like to talk about all sorts of things, including what I've done so far, especially with financing and planning and permitting and energy code, and man, there's a lot to it nowadays. I always say, like, I'm glad that I started a long time ago and learned as I went, because man, trying to get into the game now, it's a lot to swallow with especially here in Colorado, with the wind, you've got a lot of engineering involved. Soils, you know, you've got soil analysis and soil reports, and God, there's so much to it now. And then just, you know, yeah, the permitting process, and you know, it's taken me a lot of money and a lot of time just to even, just before you can even break ground. It's frustrating, takes a long time, and takes a lot of money. But if you can get through that part and you can get to the point where I'm at now, you know, this is where the good stuff starts happening. When you can really start to see some progress. I even put my own septic system in, septic tank, and leach field, and all of that. Like I said before, I was lucky enough to have that backhoe and a little bit of experience with septic systems. I had to learn a lot more to do this one, but was able to learn what I needed to learn and get qualified to do it. And yeah, so that's pretty much in, and I gotta hook the, you know, the main, you know, pipe coming out of the house to the tank, which is over there. But yeah, that was just that was a huge undertaking all on its own. So the water here is a small municipal water supply, so I didn't have to worry about a well. But yeah, so I guess that's it for now. I'm gonna finish up prepping my tops of my walls, and maybe I'll make another video once I get some lumber and kind of show you how I'm gonna start. I'm actually gonna I'm gonna order my lumber, which is gonna take about a week or so, but I'm gonna start before that. I'm gonna actually go down and purchase some lumber and put it in the truck so I can start my walls, because I want to get going on this. It's amazing how time can slip through your fingers, and before you know it, weeks have gone by. So I just want to get going on it and get to it. A year is not a long time. It can go by pretty fast when you've got a lot to do. So anyway, I will make another video soon, hopefully. I'll talk to you later.